Hi, my name is Becca and welcome to Raising Them Simply. Here we share videos all about our secular homeschool as a family of 5. Today we are going to do a flip through and review of Seashore Science from Homeschool Glue. Now, if you do not follow her, she used to make videos on YouTube here. That's actually how I originally found her when she was a daycare provider. But now she is a homeschool mom to her girls, and she has a blog and an Instagram. I will link that for you guys down below. But this is a newer curriculum that she just recently came out with, and I was really looking for something that was open and go and really easy for our science this year. Now, if you are new here, I have a almost 6-year-old, an almost 3-year-old, and my 5-month-old, and we need to keep things easy and simple here. We like to follow more of a classical approach when it comes to homeschool, especially when it comes to kind of revisiting certain subjects. And so I, for our science anyway, I'm really looking for units like this that are kind of broad, that we can deep dive into as our science curriculum. And then when our kids get older, we can keep recycling and reusing these curriculum, but then we can go into more of like biology and things and do like a family study when my other kiddos are old enough to do that. So I'm really excited about this curriculum. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and give you guys a review at what you get with this bundle. Okay, so with this curriculum, you get a teacher guide. I went ahead and bound this myself. I will link my binding machine and my laminator below, but I just printed this off and bound it. And then she does, one thing that I actually really appreciate is she has several different of these student guides. So she understands that there's a lot of people who do family style schooling, and you might have older and younger kiddos. Now, my son is not able to write himself yet, and so I printed off the younger student workbook, but she has others as well. Just know that I'm not going to show those for today's video. And then it also comes with these little cards as well. I have not cut these out, but I plan on cutting them out and laminating them. I'm not sure if it was my printer, but it did not print off the very bottom or the very top of this. It was not a big deal for me because I just wrote at the bottom, but that's something just so that you are aware of. So let's take a look at the teacher guide here. Right away when you open it up, she lists out the different schedules. So she has it broken up for either schedule 1 for doing this for summer school and how you would go about doing that, and then for half the year. We are year-round homeschoolers, and we are going to use this as our main science for the whole year. So I'm not going to follow this for our specific homeschool, but this is a great option if you want to do this just for the summer, or you have more of a traditional type homeschooling setup for your family. Then she has a book list here. Now, if you use this as a PDF and you don't print it out, you can actually click on these. And so that is very helpful, but we're gonna do the Burgess Seashore book, Ocean Anatomy, an Ocean Anatomy Activities for Kids book. And then she also listed these supplemental books. I really appreciate this part specifically, that she broke it apart like this, because while I do purchase the spines, I don't want to purchase every single book that a curriculum is recommending. These ones are easy, especially since she broke it up through which lessons you need them by. I can just look through these and I can order them through my library, and if they're not available, that's not a big deal. And I also like that if you keep this on your computer or tablet or what have you, she has a link for where you can purchase these off Amazon, as well as click a link for a YouTube video, which I really, really like. So you don't even have to go through your library if you don't want to. Some of these books are available on YouTube. And then she continues for each of the lessons. She also has different extension activities listed here. So she says if you're doing a curriculum with older elementary or middle school students, you may want to have your children do one or multiple extension activities to make the learning more challenging and age appropriate. Now, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but she actually is a licensed teacher in Minnesota. That's what she went to college for. So I really appreciate that she had the forethought to list this down, because like I said, we tend to do a more classical approach and we recycle curriculum. And so this will be nice when my oldest gets even older and we go back to do this with my younger kiddos. Then I have these stuff listed for my oldest to do to get more of an in-depth learning on this topic. She also lists field trip ideas and then different movie documentaries, which I also really appreciated. All right at the beginning for lesson 1, she relists what books you need and what supplies are needed to complete the lesson. And then she breaks down that schedule again. So we have summer school, you're gonna do for week 1, you're gonna do lessons 1 through 4. But if you're gonna do half a year, you're gonna do 2 lessons for week 1 and 2 lessons for week 2. Just know that this is a guide. You don't have to do this exactly how she says, but it is nice in case you want something set up for that. I'm gonna grab my crying baby and I'll be right back. Okay, and then for lesson 1, like I said again, she does provide these links and stuff. This I find very helpful. And she breaks down what you read. So you're gonna read for lesson 2, you're gonna read the Seashore book for children, chapter 2. You're gonna read the Ocean Anatomy activities for kids, pages 6 through 7, which talks about saltwater. You're gonna read this picture book, okay? You're gonna watch this video. Different materials that you need for this activity. So you need a clear and white shallow dish. You're gonna have several round red and white striped peppermint candies, water at room temp and hot, and a spoon. And you're gonna complete the activity in the Ocean Anatomy kit for kids on pages 8 through 9, and it's talking about dissolving the Earth's crust. She also does notebooking. This is something that we already do in our homeschool. If you don't, you would need something like that available if you want, or you can just use that student guide that we talked about and have that be your notebook. But you're gonna have your child draw or write about today's activity. What did they observe? What did they find interesting? What do you think would happen if they left the peppermint for a few days? So she has some prompting questions there, which is great for older learners, and to kind of help them think a little bit more in depth about what activity they're doing. And it just continues that same layout for each activity, or each lesson rather. And then it goes back to lesson 5 through 8. And then again, the same thing. She's gonna list everything that is needed for these lessons. And she breaks down the schedule for you if that is something that you are wanting. And then breaks down what you're going to do for those lessons. Now I'm going to show you the student guide. So like I said, she has multiple different student guides, and you don't even have to print these out and bind them. You could just copy and paste the insides of this into your notebook if that's what you want, but this is what I went and did for our homeschool for this year. So for lesson 1, we have a picture of this ocean animal. And then you would just, with those prompting questions like we went over, what I'm going to do for this, since my son isn't reading, I'm going to ask him those questions and I'm just going to write down word for word what he tells me. And then as we go on throughout the year, if he starts to write more, I will prompt him and have him start writing stuff, but this is what we're going to do for now. It's for lesson 2. And I love that these are coloring pages and they look actually realistic. So it's not like a lot of different activity books where they're more of a cartoonish character. And I just love how gentle this approach is. So this would be great even if you have a preschooler. You could have them just do the coloring pages and not even worry about the writing. And it would just be something for them to feel like they are involved and participating in the learning like they're big siblings. So this is very family friendly, which I think is something that she was really going for. I'll skip ahead here more toward the end. So again, this is just all filled with different coloring pages, and then you would go through those prompting questions with your child. And that is the student book for the coloring. All right, now for the spines. Since I already have these here, I will show them to you, but we've got the Ocean Anatomy Activities for Kids book. Flipping through this, I think it's going to be really fun. So we talk about the anatomy of the ocean. I just think this was so well done, and the thought that went into this was just really great. Sorry, my baby wants to look at the book. And it has, so what I really appreciate about this resource that she has is that there's a lesson in there, so you read that part to your child and kind of teach them about the different zones, and then it goes into the activity and explains to you what you need to be able to do that. So all those activities and stuff are based off of this book. So this one talks about, condensation, evaporation, the whole water cycle, explaining why the ocean is salty, all of that. So love this book. I think that this is going to be really fun. I would never be able to think of activities like this, and I like that it's just in a book like this, so I don't have to go searching or making sure that links are working properly or anything like that. So I really appreciate that. Now for the Ocean Anatomy book. The book that she has listed, I have not been able to get in the mail yet, but I did get, the same author also has this sticker activity book that I purchased just for something to add for my daughter, to my almost 3-year-old, to participate in more. And it's just tons of different stickers. What I'm thinking is that she can go through and use these sticker books and play with some worksheets and stuff like that in like one of the bins or something, so that she could participate more. So this is a great option if you want to add something like that for one of your learners. But the same author has an Ocean Anatomy book, and that's going to go into talking about the different animals and stuff that are in the coloring pages and the student notebooking book. And then to go with that, you have the Burgess Seashore book for children. This goes into more detail about the different animals and the anatomy of the animals. So like I said, this book is going to go into all the different creatures and stuff that you see at the ocean, the different anatomy, what they eat, all of that stuff where they live in the different zones of the ocean. So you're gonna read this, learn about it. You're gonna use that ocean anatomy book as well. That kind of goes hand in hand with the notebooking, whereas that other book goes more into the activities that you're going to actually do with your child when it comes to putting some more hands-on practical learning about the different things about the ocean. So I am very excited about this curriculum. It seems very gentle, a very easy curriculum to be able to go through. I feel like it has a lot of information that we can use to teach to our children without it feeling like we're overdoing it, especially with older learners. It's kind of more difficult, especially if you have a larger family or you're planning on what you're going to be teaching your children in the future, how to not overdo it as the educator as well. I really enjoy the family style type learning, and I feel like that's the most practical, having a larger family, having more than 2 learners. And this is going to be a great resource because you can always make something more difficult, but it's harder to make things easier. And so I really appreciate what I'm seeing so far in this curriculum. I will let you guys know how we like it as the year progresses, but my son, he's flipped through it and he's very excited, so I can't wait to get started with this. Now, like I said, I will link to Homeschool Glue down below so that you guys can see or check out her profile and her blog if that is something that you're interested in. She is starting to come out with more curriculum and stuff like that as well. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out a lot. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're doing for science for your homeschool this year, or what you liked about this video. Please hit the subscribe button. It's a free way to be notified of more content coming up from my channel. I make videos every week about our homeschool, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.